Halo Season 2 is done. What do we think, Frank?
I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're gonna hear about it.
Oh god.
I wasn't even sure if I was going to watch the show, let alone make this video. I've been a fan of Halo since Halo 1, and it took my girlfriend to constantly be like, why don't you just give it a shot, until I actually sat down and watched the show. Halo 4's multiplayer was trash, Halo's 5 campaign was garbage, Halo Infinite was actually really good, but then 343 was like, well, that's a good job, and then took a year off. And then gave it no major updates for a year, even though it was meant to be a live service game. And then Halo Season 1 came out, and what a hot mess that was. To its credit, Season 1 did give us something really good. The nicknames, John Halo, Master Cheeks, and my personal favourite, Jimmy Rings. Now with all that context, you would understand why my interest was at an all-time low for this season. Now just so that you're aware, it's going to be spoiler central from here on out. I can't help that. I'm going to be talking about things within the show. So just so you're aware, major spoilers. Now, with that disclaimer settled, what did I think of Season 2? It's fine. I was able to sit down and enjoy it, but I wouldn't say it was a great show. If I could summarize Season 2 in one sentence, to be fair, I didn't really come up with this is more my girlfriend, but it would be, let's gaslight the Master Chief. Guys, I saw the Covenant. No, you didn't. No, I really did. Pretty sure that was a hallucination. I have a witness. I saw nothing. Interesting. Have a medal. Why didn't you tell him? I don't understand why I was spared. What? Well, I mean, why me? You realize I was there to save you. Meanwhile, with Silver Team... I don't know, team. Why don't people believe us? Did you really see the Covenant, though? Oh, come on! Meanwhile, in the future... Okay, I know now that you told the truth about everything, but if you weren't acting so crazy, I wouldn't have beaten you up, so this is really your fault. You are you. I think my biggest grievance with the show as a whole is that the vast majority of it did not feel true to the source material, so basically everything but Episode 8. Let me give an example of what I mean by this. The One Piece live action, I think it was generally really well received. I mean, I really enjoyed it, and I think most people did. Now, if you take the plot of the live action One Piece show and you change everything about it, apart from the plot, like the plot stays the same, but you change the names of the characters, the landmarks, the people, okay, I guess that's the characters, but from there you advertise it as a completely new story. So now it's Franklin on a journey to become Lord of the Islands. And I don't know, the show's called The Lost Islands. I bet most One Piece fans would be like, hang on, this show's ripping off One Piece. Whereas if you do the exact same thing with the majority of this Halo TV show, I think most Halo fans would look at it and go, oh, they've taken inspiration of Halo, that's pretty cool. I don't know if that makes sense, leave me alone. You might be asking yourself, who's this show for? And to be honest, I'm kind of asking that question as well. I really think that this show as a whole is for people who aren't really into the Halo games or books. It's for people who want a fresh take on what Halo is all about. I'll expand upon my overall grievances towards the end, along with things that I like. I did actually like things about the TV show. But for now, I'm going to go through and recap each episode. I'm not going to go super in depth with this, I'm just going to cover the main plots from each episode. Because the Lord knows that I definitely forgot 80% of what happened by the time I got up to episode 7. Okay, so I fully intended to have the episode recap to be pretty short and concise, basically bring everyone back up to speed, but it ended up being over 90% of the video. It's not really what I intended. If people want a season recap, then I can just release that as a separate video, but here is a super condensed Cliff Notes version of the season. Also, even though I spent a few hours gathering clips, I can't use them, otherwise Paramount will come find me and tattoo copyright on my ass or something. Thanks, Paramount. So we'll just have to use stills. But yeah, here is a super condensed version of the season. Episode 1, Sanctuary. Cortana is gone. Okay, now we're on Sanctuary. There's some religious people here. I'm sure they're not important to the story. Chief climbs a cliff to save some UNSC troops, and then it ends up being only Chief and Perez are left. Perez, she's important, but not really. The elites decide to let them live out of pity and then they bounce. Oh yeah, there's a hooded figure in the fog, probably nothing. Further on, we then meet Ackerson. He is Halsey's replacement. He tells the Chief to stop taking drugs because they're obviously causing him to see things such as the Covenant. We also meet Cobalt Team. Chief, maybe it would have been a good idea to let Cobalt Team know that you saw the Covenant on Sanctuary before they went off on their mission. I'm 99% sure they would have taken you seriously. What else? Parangosky is still hovering around, and Chief talks to a fake Cortana about his problems. Oh yeah, that hooded figure might be McKee. Yay. Oh yeah, Soren is here, and he goes looking for Halsey, but he gets captured. And Quan is still here as well. Double yay. Episode 2, Sword. Hey look, Halsey's still alive. Axon has put her in prison. Oh no, Cobalt's team status has changed from deployed to standby. That's probably not good. Remember how there was a Marine, Perez, who was with the Chief when he fought the Covenant? Perfect witness, except she lied. Why? Screw you, that's why. Chief realized that Cobalt Team never left the planet and takes Silver Team on an off-the-books mission to find Cobalt Team. Not much to say about Quan this episode. She gets mad at Kessler, Soren's kid, because his dad didn't come back from his mission to find Halsey. Sick one, Quan. And the episode finishes with McKee at Sword Base with an elite, getting one of the Forerunner Keystones. Episode 3, Visegrad. Silver Team didn't find Cobalt Team at Visegrad, and John gets gaslit again as the flight planes of Cobalt Team have been changed, so Silver Team gets suspended. But then we see Cobalt Team dead, with Keyes and Ackerson arguing. Turns out that upper command know the Covenant is on Reach. Okay, so we know the Covenant are here. Probably a good time to warn the public and start evacuating, yeah? Nope. Ackerson says that they're just moving essential assets off Reach before the Covenant arrive. So all the project managers and CEOs are bouncing and all the blue collar workers are being left behind. Side note, we learn that Parangosky is still with Oni. What a shocker. The plot of the rubble. Soren's team is after Liara for Soren's hidden treasure. Long story short, it ends with Kessler being sent by himself on a ship to escape, and Quan saves Liara from Soren's old crew. And then the episode ends with bombs going off on Reach. Episode 4, Reach. It's the fall of Reach. Except not really, because we don't really see much of Reach falling. But the Covenant is attacking. Or just the elites. Where are the grunts? Soren and Halsey escape the prison as the power went off, and they see McKee stealing Cortana. How did McKee even know where to go? Back to Chief and friends. They have worked their way back to FleetCom, where the Chief, Riz, and Vanek join up. Vanek informs the squad that their armor has been shipped off the planet to save costs on CGI. I mean, because they are essential assets. I think it's important to note that Kaya is nowhere to be seen at the moment. Keyes is here, but then he's not because he sacrifices himself, so Keyes is gone. And Vanek is also here, but then he's not because he sort of sacrifices himself by getting a needle shoved into his chest, so Vanek is gone. Episode 5, Aleria. What happened in this episode? So the Chief and remaining friends are saved by Liara and Quan. How they knew exactly where to go, I'm not sure, but we'll take it. There's not much to talk about with this episode. It's very much mid. Arbiter's kind of mad that they only secured one keystone. Riz stays behind. Quan tries to dig Vanek a grave, but gets surrounded by a bunch of hooded people who want Vanek to be burned rather than buried. Quan has some stupid vision involving the religious mother from episode 1. Soren and Liara struggle to find Kessler. And McKee, about to be killed by the Arbiter for suggesting that they leave High Charity to search for the Halo, stops when Cortana shows rejection of Halo. Oh yeah, we also learn that Kai left Reach with Ackerson. Episode 6, Onyx. Spartan 3s are conducting a raid on a Covenant Corvette, except not really because it's a simulation. Turns out Kai is overseeing the Spartans and berates them for not working as a team. Kai is probably projecting here, but that's just my opinion. So the Chief and friends have made their way to Onyx. So let me quickly sum up Soren and Liara's plot in episode 6 and 7 right here. We're gonna go find Kessler. Okay, see ya. Oh yeah, Quan is here as well, and through another vision, the mother leads her to a well, making her fall to her death, never to be seen again. No, I'm just kidding. The Chief gets captured, but not really, and Ackerson shows this to Kai saying, "Whoa, the Chief is a loose cannon, you better go stop him." Hi, Chief. Bye, Chief. I might have lied. I'm coming, Chief. So the Covenant. There's a rebellion going on, but the writers knew we didn't really want to see that. So we see McKee and the Chief touch the Activator's keystones at the same time. Episode 7, Thermopylae. Thermopylae? Hey look, we're on Halo. Not for long. Hey look, the Spartan 3s are attacking a Covenant fleet. Not for long. Hey look, the Chief gets his suit back. Wait, he actually keeps it? Nice. Hey look, it's Kai. I'm leaving. Yeah, I don't care, see ya. The Arbiter wins the mutiny, and Quan and the crew down the hole discover a vault where they take an object from a deceased humanoid before running away from the collapsing vault. Episode 8, Halo. Scientists lying about touching an alien object? Yeah, that always ends well. Hey look, the flood infection has begun. Didn't see that happening. Chief is actually doing Chief's things. He saves Kai and crew, and then he saves Cortana before crashing the ship on the Halo and surviving. Kai drives the boarded ship into a larger Covenant ship. We do see Kai later on drifting in space taking a nap. I don't know if she'll wake up. Back at command, the infection is running rampant, and Parangosky is taken out, and Halsey is infected as well. So she gets put into a cryosleep by Miranda. Back to the Halo, John and the Arbiter engage in an epic 1v1 showdown, man. And it's good, but of course John gets to win and follows behind McKee into the structure. Soren and Quan join up, they save Kessler, Liara, and Ackerson? Nice. Oh no, Quan is surrounded, what a shame, it was a good run. I'm here to save you. Oh, can you just Back to the group, Liara has been infected and locks the door behind them, allowing them to escape. When I hit the end of episode 7, I remember looking at my partner and asking her, what has happened this season? The thing is that all the scenes from the rubble involving Quan, I just kind of found myself on my phone, it just wasn't engaging. I like Soren, and I do like his arc with Halsey. It's just like everything else is just kind of eh. Before I get into my grievances with the season, let's discuss some things that I liked, because there were some things that I liked. Ackerson, played by Joseph Morgan. I think he was actually a really cool character. I think he works well as that kind of shady Oni guy, and the way that they finished up the season, it would be cool to see him used as kind of like a bridge between Spartans and Oni. Kind of like an anti-hero. Halsey, I think, much like with season 1, I thought she was really good in season 2 as well. She always has that air of like holding back information. I did like that moment in episode 8 where she's talking to Miranda, and as Miranda is discussing like the horrors of what they found, she's like kind of looking happy. And not that she wants the destruction, but because she's gaining knowledge about things that she hasn't even foreseen. Like, it's extremely interesting to her. It is kind of fucked, but I do kind of like that side of her. What else? The Arbiter. I thought the Arbiter was pretty cool. His character was portrayed pretty well. Kind of represents those stoic qualities of an elite, so an honorable guy. I actually liked the fight scenes. I thought they were choreographed really well. A lot of people had issues with the CGI. I thought it was fine. It didn't take me out of the moment of the fight scene. I mean, I'm not saying it was great or amazing, but it wasn't bad. I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. Cortana, a lot of people had issues with her design when they first saw her. I thought her design was fine, and her character I thought was good throughout the season. Cortana was pretty good. Alright, my grievances. I'm going to do my best to not be nitpicky. I just want to focus on the main things, otherwise we'll be here for a while. With that being said, there is one nitpicky thing I do want to get off my chest. Episode 1. So, well, not even just episode 1. Like, the first few episodes were built around people not believing Chief. But what about that time in Halo on 343 Guilty Spark where Jenkins had a camera in his helmet? Surely Spartans would have some kind of recording software in their helmets so he could just be like, look at my recording, they're elites, man. And then Oni could have just been like, oh wow, it turns out the footage was damaged. That's weird. But to be like, we don't believe you, it's just, I don't know, that is one plot hole that really annoyed me. But anyway, the Covenant. The Covenant is a group of alien races coming together under the Prophets. We didn't see any of them but the Jackals for about, what? I'm going to be generous and say 20 minutes. I'm not going to say 20. 10 minutes? Like, the hangar scene with Keys, we saw Jackals. Every other time it was just elites. Like, where were the grunts? The brutes, drones, hunters? Like, especially on the Fall of Reach, there should have been all of them there. Not just the elites. Like, include all the races. Like, that seems obvious to me. Kwan Ha. Now, I'm going to preface and say this is nothing against her actress. It's just the way she's written. And her story. Like, Kwan just feels so shoehorned into the plot. And that whole mystic thing with the mother, like, it's just weird. I don't get it. What's the point? Like, her character hasn't really gone through any character development. But I could forgive all of that if her character just wasn't so annoying. Like, what is with her attitude? Show some respect. Music. Now, during episode 6, my partner said to me that they wish that they used some of the music from the Halo games. And hearing her say it made me think, why aren't they using the music from the Halo games? Like the like, even I'm getting into it and I'm only not humming, bipping some of the tune. Like, to me, like, the music from the games is perfect. That's just such an instant home run. Why not use it? Like, again, the music in the show is fine, but anyone who says that they prefer that over to the music in the games, they're on crack. What else didn't I like? I suppose, like, just the general plot. I mean, I've kind of already gone over this. Episode 8 was good, but there's just so much filler. Like, I look back at the season now and I'm gonna have to listen to my recap and go, what happened in those episodes again? Yeah, like, where was the rest of the Fall of Reach? Where was the grunts? Just little things. Like, I'm sorry, I don't really care about the rubble. I don't know. I'm probably biased on that. Like, I thought the Spartan and most of the human stuff was good. But yeah, and then Kwan's plot, don't get me started on that again. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, overall, the season is mid to okay. I definitely didn't hate what I was watching, let's put it that way. But as a fan of Halo, I personally get a lot more enjoyment out of watching the cutscenes from the game stitched together than I do from watching the show. If they made every episode as good as episode 8, and if they used all the races from the Covenant, like, I'm just listing things that would make it a good show. It's just, why didn't they do that? Will you enjoy the show? Overall, if I have to rate it, I am just coming off watching episode 8, which again, I'm going to reiterate, it was a good episode, but you can't not take into account the rest of the season. And to me, there was just too much filler. So 5.5 out of 10. That's probably being a bit generous. Not generous, that's probably fair. Anyway, I've been recording for a while. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. To the rest of you, enjoy your day.